Thank you for tuning in. We're being heard via the Two Live Stews Radio Network, also the TuneIn Radio app, iHeartRadio, Google Play for Android, and iTunes. Shouts out to our content partner, sportsnewsandbrews.com. You can follow us on social media, Instagram and Twitter, at HBCU Report. You can follow me, Rob Calloway, as well, at Rob Calloway3. And coming up on the other side, Jay Walker will join the show. This is the HBCU Report right here on the Two Live Stews Radio Network.
The HBCU experience lives here. The HBCU Report with Rob Calloway.
We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Connecting the SWAC, the MEAC, SIAC, and the CIAA. The HBCU experience lives here. It's the HBCU Report with Rob Calloway.
This is the HBCU Report being heard via the Two Live Stews Radio Network. Rob Calloway here with you another Saturday morning. Thank you guys for tuning in, however you may be listening. Of course, got a full schedule of games coming up. And right now we are being joined by a good friend of the show, Mr. Gimme Five. He is one of the greatest HBCU quarterbacks of all time, winning that HBCU national championship with Howard University. Seemed like it was an eternity ago, but it was just not that long ago. Talking about ESPN's own Jay Walker. First of all, Jay, welcome back to the show, man.
Always good to talk to you, and way to make me feel so old. But you're only as good as your records back in the day, so I think I'm pretty close to being able to retire as being the greatest football player at Howard University after 24-plus years. Maybe the kid from Georgia, Kalen Newton, maybe he'll retire me from my role.
Well, I'm glad that we actually started there, man. As a Bison alum, like, dude, how did you feel when Howard pulled off arguably one of the biggest upsets in college football history?
First of all, anytime Howard does something, it's big. So it's the biggest upset in the history of college football, and it was a proud day, man. It really was. That was just a moment that it was a good Howard moment, but that was just a good black college football moment. You've seen the documentaries where people talking about HBCUs taking money games and they shouldn't be doing it. And it was like, no, take that. No, don't downplay what those kids did. 43-point underdogs and they win the game. That was a great moment. I remember texting the president of the university. I said, hey, I'm always proud to be a Bison, but I have to admit today feels extra special to be a Bison. And he was like, Jay, I feel the same way.
Oh, yeah, because it was definitely a huge victory. And as you mentioned, you got young Caitlin Newton out there under center for the Bison this season. And this young man, he's turned out to be a gamer. What you think?
Oh, very impressed with him. And think about it. He's got a demeanor about him. So you take a situation, you make the most of it. So he's used to kind of having that spotlight from being Cam's younger brother. And I think he's going to need that because, Howard University, like any HBCUs, once you start winning, then you got to watch that yard. And that yard can distract you in a lot of ways. But I think he's got the mindset, his upbringing. His dad is very active at the games and in his life that, he could be a special player. I got a chance to watch him play versus North Carolina Central last weekend. And, he's a game changer. He's a special kid. He's got a chance to be one of the greats.
This is the HBCU Report, being heard via the Two Live Stews Radio Network. Rob Calloway hanging out with you on the line right now with ESPN's Jay Walker. And you know what, Jay, you just keep on giving me great segues because you mentioned North Carolina Central University, the reigning MEAC champions. Of course, they took on Grambling State in the in the Celebration Bowl that took place last season. Here's a team that just seems to just keep on winning. Not to mention North Carolina A&T, but Central has a heck of a win streak in the MEAC right now, and it looks like they're actually poised to try to make another appearance at the Celebration Bowl this year.
I mean, this team right here overachieving. I mean, that's what I'd say. I mean, think about it. They lost their starting quarterback. They're playing with a true freshman quarterback, and they keep winning. They beat a good Howard team. They beat a really good South Carolina State team and went down on the road and pulled out a victory versus Florida A&M. I think you can make the argument that this may be Coach Mack's best job of coaching. I mean, they're not loaded. They're a young team. They are just overachieving. And when you start winning, it becomes contagious. And they're proving that, and I like their demeanor. Right now, I think without question, the best team in HBCU football is probably North Carolina A&T. But the boys at Central, they're like, yeah, we've heard that before. They still got to play us last week of the season, and we're going to prepare to try and beat those boys again like we've done the last 3 years. So it's just an interesting shape because everybody else will be talking about A&T, but you can't talk about A&T without mentioning North Carolina Central right now. Central hasn't lost a conference game in going on 3 years, so very impressive job that the Eagles are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Once upon a time ago, for MEAC fans, you got a lot of good football action, out of FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, but it seems like the tides have kind of turned and you're getting the best football in MEAC, in the MEAC conference going on in the state of North Carolina. But on top of that, I think sometimes a guy like Coach Mack gets overshadowed because of a guy like Rod Broadway and that huge resume that he brings with him up there in North Carolina A&T. But quiet is kept, and I just talked about it last week. Like, Coach Mack has won like 4 MEAC championships.
He's got 3 going on.
With 4.
So
Three.
He got to share 3 of them, 3 straight, and he's done it in a short time frame. And I mentioned Rod Broadway. I think Broadway will go down as one of the greatest HBCU coaches of all time. People gave me a hard time when I listened to him on my Give Me 5, but what he's done has been remarkable. But Coach Mack, in the coaching world, very well respected. He's a hot rising star. I think he's the second youngest FCS coach. He's going to move up the ladder very quickly, and pretty soon I think the rest of America will be talking about Jerry Mack in terms of everything we know about him. Offensive mind, knows how to get his players ready to play, and it's been a great hire, and he's done a fantastic job down there in North Carolina Central. Now,
there's another coach who people were saying the same exact thing about him about 2.5 seasons ago when he was still at Bethune-Cookman, talking about Brian Jenkins, who was recently relieved of his duties at Alabama State University. He came to Bama State with a lofty resume. He had done some phenomenal things at Bethune-Cookman, and Bethune-Cookman under his reign kind of took the title of the Florida State champs. But now he finds himself out of a job, and I don't know. I feel kind of bad for the dude because I know how the politics work, at Bama State. But I definitely think he'll land back on his feet sooner than later.
Oh man, I mean he was a star, and I think that's one of the biggest surprises in all of HBCU over the past couple of years. I think it was the lack of success that he had at Alabama State. I mean, Alabama State has the best facilities in all of FCS football, not just black college, but FCS period. And I mean, nobody saw it coming. Nobody. I mean, you kept saying, okay, this is a year they're going to turn it around. And then you said the second year, okay, they're going to turn around this year. And then this year, I mean, who would have thought they'd be sitting at 0-5?
Yep.
And, and I think it was 0-5 and the shutout loss to Prairie View A&M. And then the game we were televised and they were losing 24-0 at home to Alcorn. That's just nobody saw it coming, but he's a guy that, likes some old men, and there's no question his next spot, it'll be a learning experience, and I think whoever gets him is getting not a good coach, but a great coach.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the HBCU Report. Rob Calloway on the line with ESPN's Jay Walker. As we just run the gamut on the world of HBCU football, as we actually count down to the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. It's crazy, man, because it's right around the corner, Jay, because we're right here like at the halfway point. We're a couple weeks away from the Magic City Classic. A couple weeks after that, we'll be talking about games like Southern and Grambling and the last the last SWAC football championship. And, man, it's we wait for it all year long, and then it happens so fast. It's kind of unbelievable. But, go ahead. What were you about to say?
I'm saying, and you got storylines that are still unfolding. You know, we've talked for a good little minute yet. We still haven't talked about the defending champs, Grambling.
Oh yeah,
Grambling hasn't lost to a black college in a long time. They lost early this year to Tulane, and then to start off the season last year, the only game they lost was to University of Arizona. So you're talking about a Grambling program that is, you hate to say they're under the radar because they're rolling. They got Devontae Kincaid, the star quarterback, and Martez Carter, one of the best running backs. The G-men, they're going to be a force to be heard from. And right now, them and Alcorn, those are definitely the two best teams right now, I think you'd have to say, in the SWAC. And you mentioned earlier, North Carolina's going to come down to those North Carolina schools probably, A&T and Central, in terms of who's going to represent the MEAC. So interesting storylines developing all throughout it, and we really haven't gotten through rivalry week yet, and all the rival big games start to come up, and that's going to have some say-so in how it all plays out as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's what I was saying. Like, man, we still have some of the granddaddies coming up. So a lot of things still to come in the world of HBCU football. So, Jay, before I let you go, man, you are Mr. Gimme Five. So I got so let me go ahead and just take let me just take one jab at you real quick. Not for me, because
Sure.
you did mention my beloved Alabama State University Marching Hornets. They weren't outside looking in, but you gave them an honorable mention, them and Miles College. But
once we talk about them Vans.
Well, yeah, of course, because man, I had to hear about it because everybody know that me and you know each other. And they like, Rob, when you talk to Jay, you let Jay know that if they don't mention, if he don't mention Alabama A&M, like wait till the Classic, wait till we see him at the Classic. I'm like, look, y'all just need to step y'all game up. Like, Jay's being fair, but they like, because Grambling shouldn't be on that list, but yeah,
I call it like I see it, and that's what I say. But I will say this, because I think Alabama State, they may be in a little bit of trouble because that list came out kind of early. It was a preseason. What I thought would be the best bands, and I thought Miles College really. You could have made the argument Miles College blew them away last year in the Turkey Day Classic, but I did see Alabama A&M when they were at Vanderbilt, and they tore it up. They were really good. They actually got a standing ovation from the Vanderbilt crowd while they were performing. I was amazed by them. They do a good job. But I've seen some wild cards. And there's going to be a big launch you're going to hear about in the coming days with the undefeated ESPN about the Battle of the Bands. So we're going to crank it up a notch. So if they thought the Gimme Five was doing something, wait till you see what's in the works. All
right. Well, it sounds good to me. Can't wait for it. But before I let you go, right now, I
got one for you. I always get you a one too. So I want to ask you one. Let's see what you got.
Okay, well, go ahead.
I'm working on a Gimme Five, and it's going to be the top 5 biggest HBCU rivalries.
Okay.
Now, number 1, I think is pretty easy. That'll be Grambling Southern. I call it the granddaddy of the rivalries. What would you say is the number 2 best HBCU rivalry?
It got to be Bama State or A&M.
Okay.
Just by the numbers.
Game. That's the biggest game. Does that make it the biggest rival?
I think it is. And HBCU. You got a lot of them because you got that in-state North Carolina rivalry between A&T and Central. Then down in FAMU, you got that heated in-state rivalry between Bethune-Cookman and FAMU. Then go ahead.
So here's a reason why I don't know I can put A&M State up there.
Why?
That game ain't meant nothing in a long time. I'm a football guy first and foremost.
Okay, well,
so
I'll go
down. The Bayou winner's probably going to go to the SWAC championship.
Oh, true.
You go to Florida Classic, you're going to probably have some implications for the MEAC race.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm like, and this year, watch out for one this year that could have some implications.
What is that?
And Hey, the battle for HU, even though it's only one HU, but the battle for HU. I mean, Hampton's undefeated in conference play, and the Bison are proving that they can. The Bison. Everybody was asking me, that was a story. Are the Bison for real? Are the Bison for real? I think when they beat Bethune-Cookman, and then they followed that up with they